Every year, you sign a dozen forms for your child's school. Emergency contacts, permission slips, health updates. You hand over some of the most sensitive information about your family without a second thought. You trust it's locked away, safe inside a fortress of confidentiality. But that fortress has back doors. And what your child's school knows, and who they're legally allowed to tell, might be the biggest secret of all. Most parents assume there's a sacred, unbreakable vow of silence. They are dangerously mistaken. Hey everyone, I'm Ani, and welcome back to Legal Wealth, where we unlock the complex legal world and put the power back in your hands. Today we are pulling back the curtain on one of the most misunderstood topics, confidentiality in schools. This isn't just about grades or who your child has a crush on. We're talking about medical records, mental health assessments, and family situations. And by the end of this video, I'm going to reveal the one critical document most parents never read, but absolutely should to truly understand and protect their child's privacy. Stay with me. All right, let's start with what seems like the most basic type of confidentiality: your personal information. Your phone number, your home address, your email. The school has it all. The general rule, the one everyone feels comfortable with, is that the school can't just hand this out like flyers for a bake sale. They can't sell it to telemarketers or give it to that overly enthusiastic parent trying to organize a weekend playdate without your permission. I mean, can you imagine? Hi, this is Bob's Car Emporium. Jefferson Elementary said you might be in the market for a new minivan. Chaos. But here's our first mini hook. What about the gray areas? Think about school picture day. That third-party company gets a list of student names. Think about the yearbook publisher. What about educational software companies that partner with the school district? Suddenly, that simple, "we won't share your data" policy starts to look a little porous. Often, buried in that mountain of paperwork you sign at the beginning of the year is a clause that gives consent for sharing information with educational partners. Who decides who counts as an educational partner? Usually the school. It's the first layer of the onion, and it's already more complicated than you think. Have you ever actually read what those third-party agreements entail? Let me know in the comments. Now let's talk about something that hits close to home for many of us: academic performance. Remember the old days? Maybe you don't, but your parents certainly do. The teacher would hand back a stack of graded essays, leaving them on a desk for anyone to rifle through. Or worse, the dreaded public display of grades. A chart on the wall proudly showcasing who was at the top and, well, who wasn't. It was an archaic practice of public grade shaming. Thankfully, we've moved on. Laws like FERPA, the Family Educational Rights and Privacy Act in the US, and similar regulations worldwide have put a stop to this. A student's academic record is now considered private. A teacher can't just yell out, "Hey, Timmy, nice C- on the history final" anymore. At least they're not supposed to. Your child's grades, transcripts, and even disciplinary records are protected. If a college, an employer, or even a scholarship committee wants to see a transcript, your older child, or you, if they're a minor, has to sign a release. That's your right. But here's a question to keep you watching. Does that protection extend to a parent-teacher conference where another parent is present? Or a casual chat in the hallway between two teachers? We'll circle back to that. Okay, we've covered contact info and grades. Now we go deeper. Let's talk about health. The school nurse, that friendly face with the ice packs and bandages. They also handle routine physical screenings, vision tests, hearing checks, scoliosis screenings, and they hold on to any private health information you provide. Does your child have asthma, a severe peanut allergy, ADHD? The school knows. And of course, they need to know this to keep your child safe. That information is guaranteed to be confidential, right? Here's the twist. The place where confidentiality gets the most complex, the most challenging, and honestly the most frightening isn't with a broken arm or a failed eye exam. It's in the quiet office of the school counselor. The school counselor's office is supposed to be a sanctuary, a place where a student can talk about anything: stress, bullying, problems at home, their own feelings of anxiety or depression. In the medical and therapeutic world, this is protected by sacred confidentiality. What is said in the room stays in the room. And for the most part, school counselors strive to uphold that. They build trust. They create a safe space. But, And this is the part every single parent and student needs to understand, that confidentiality has legal, life-altering limits. A school counselor is what's known as a mandated reporter. This means by law, they are required to break confidentiality under specific circumstances. If a student says they are being hurt physically or sexually by someone, the counselor must report it. If a student says they know another child who is being hurt, the counselor must report it. And most critically, if a counselor believes a student is a danger to themselves or a danger to others, they are legally obligated to break that confidentiality and inform parents, school administration, and sometimes law enforcement. Think about that. A child in a moment of vulnerability confides in an adult they trust, and that adult may be legally forced to set in motion a chain of events the child cannot control. It's a system designed to protect, but it fundamentally changes the nature of that safe space. The youngest children especially must be told in an age-appropriate way what the limits of their privacy are before they start talking. So with all these rules, who is really being protected? The student or the school? This is where you need to put on your legal wealth hat and think critically. School policies are legal documents, and often they are written by lawyers whose primary job is to protect the school from liability. A healthy policy creates a balance between sharing necessary information to protect students and keeping private information private. But some policies can overreach. They might have vague language that gives the school broad permissions to share information internally. Remember that question about two teachers chatting in the hall? If it's for a legitimate educational interest, it's often allowed. But what defines legitimate? The line can get blurry fast. A policy might prioritize the school's right to assess a student over that student's right to privacy, especially in disciplinary situations. The balance isn't always 50-50. So, after all this, you're probably feeling a little anxious. Your private data is in a gray area. Academic privacy has loopholes, and the counselor's office has legal backdoors. What can you actually do? You have more power than you think. And it starts with that one document I mentioned at the beginning. It's the school's official policy handbook. I know. It's that 50-page PDF they email you in August that you immediately file away. It's dense, it's boring, and it feels like homework. But hidden within those pages is the school's entire rulebook on confidentiality. It is the single most important document you can read to understand your rights in that specific school district. So here's my promised solution. When you get that handbook, don't just scroll to the last page and sign. Use the find function and search for these keywords: confidentiality, privacy, information sharing, third party, counseling, and mandated reporter. Read those sections. Do they make sense? Is the language clear? Do you feel the policy strikes a fair balance? If you feel your child's privacy is being abridged too much, you have the right to question it. You can write to the school board. You can speak with the principal. You can request greater protective measures. You are your child's biggest advocate. Knowledge of the law, even school policy, is power. Understanding these different types of confidentiality allows you to navigate the system and protect your family effectively. If this video opened your eyes and provided real value, do me a huge favor and hit that like button. It really helps the channel reach more people. Make sure you subscribe to Legal Wealth and ring that notification bell so you never miss an episode where we break down the laws that affect your life. Now, I want to hear from you. Comment below with a story. Has your family ever run into a school confidentiality issue? Or did this video reveal something you never knew? Your stories help us all learn. And finally, if you feel this information was exceptionally helpful and want to support our mission to make legal knowledge accessible to everyone, consider using the Super Thanks feature below. Every bit of support keeps this channel going. I'm Ani. Stay informed, stay empowered, and I'll see you in the next video.